Hi, I'm Carmen Michael Smith, welcoming you back to Heart of the Moment. Still answering your questions on Holy Queer, the Coming Out of Christ. The next question was, do you hate the Black church? And I think that that's funny because I spend the whole introduction of the book basically talking about my love for the Black church. Now, when I say Black, let me be clear. Black is a people. Black is a culture, and Black is a religion. They all three don't always intersect when you look at your Jewish brothers and sisters. Some are Orthodox and they follow the teachings of the church this way. Some are Reformed and they're a little loose. Some are don't go to temple at all or synagogue. And you have still Jewish people who don't participate in the religion or who don't always follow the culture. And so it can be all of those things for Jewish people. And the same is it can be all of those things for Black people. We are a people, we are a culture, and we are a religion. And I talk about the Black church as the culture inside this religious experience that, I grew up small town Texas, Bethlehem Baptist Church. We went to church, but church was not this thing was like, oh, we got to go, or, oh, we don't have any money, or, oh, we don't have these fancy clothes. My mom sewed her own clothes, but she bought us clothes. And still people sewed in the church. You could go to the church and hear amazing music and singers and those fire and brimstone sermons. And people were able to step outside of these racist environments and place themselves inside of their own cultivated queer space, where it was at odds with everything around them. And it was cultivated to be a space where you had, brother so-and-so and sister so-and-so, not boy and gal. And it just was such an experience from the buildings. We cleaned the churches. That wood was shining. And the people in the kitchen, that kitchen was clean and you could smell the fried chicken and all of that good stuff. We had sleepovers at the church. It was community, vacation Bible school. We spent our time at the church because this was community for us that was at odds with everything else around us. Yeah, you could be poor. Yeah, you could live in the ghetto. But when you came here, everybody was at church. And we were all members of this body. And so I do believe that the church still has a purpose. And I believe in what it can be. And so, no, I don't hate the Black church. The Black church for me growing up was everything until it wasn't. Very early on, in promoting Holy Queer, I had one of those Toni Morrison moments where a journalist said to me, "Who is this book for?" And I went back to the introduction and the dedications, and I said, this book is dedicated to Black queer, Black church, and Black communities all around the world. And she pressed me, Black woman. She pressed me and said, but could it be for others? And I said, yes, it could be. Feeling like Whitney Houston with sometimes. It means sometimes. But she pressed a little bit more and I said, yes, the intention, the audience is that I am writing to the hurt. When a doctor feels around and says, let me know if this hurt, does this hurt, does this hurt? Ouch, because that's where they know where to treat. This book was speaking to the ouch for me. And I wanted to be able to communicate as clearly as possible that this book, like Christ, is universal. But in order to be universal, I can't be all things to everybody. I have to meet the needs as I come upon them. And what I saw was that in the Black church, that it was everything until it wasn't, I needed to speak to the it wasn't. And what it wasn't in the Black church was a place of representation. I mean, I do DEIA work, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. And the Black church, for all of its community, and let's not be in any way naive. Community is messy. Community is joyful, but at the same time, community is gossipy. And community is somebody sleeping with somebody's boyfriend or husband, and somebody's telling about whose daughter did what and whose son is on drugs, and still coming and smiling in your face. And then you fall out and you come back together. But that is community. Community is messy because, as Jesus shows us, life can get really messy. And so when I look at the Black church, I did some videos on the hidden meanings behind Beyonce's Renaissance tour. It's not that she showed up and said, this is a gay show. This is a straight show. This is a show that featured. No, it just was reflective of her audience. So when you saw Jonte, amazing male dancer, in a wig. And I believe Jonte goes by they. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But they, long time in the game, is on the stage. And many people don't even notice that that's the same Jonte from the Freakum Dress video years ago. Beyonce said, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. But when I look at that, when I looked at Renaissance there from the audience and at the movies, it was unapologetically a reflection of the audience in front of her. She, Beyonce, was reflecting the congregation. And when I look at churches, I see no representation. I mean, if there was representation in the Black church, let's start there. And I say in the book, the reason I focus on the Black church is because what the Black church creates, the world emulates. From the preaching to the singing to the shouting, what we used to do as something that was just the Black church, you can find in any other congregation at this point. So what the Black church creates, the world emulates, and I am focused on the Black church to get to the world.